Africa, a vast continent with tremendous cultural heritage and many people groups. Patti had been to Ghana and West Africa last year with a group from First Presbyterian Church of Fairfield, Connecticut. One of her traveling companions was Frederica Smith, who was born and raised there. She is not the only member of our church to also claim a hometown in Ghana. So as we began our journey to explore mission opportunities in Africa, the country of Ghana became the natural choice. We embarked on a 2-week journey to explore ministry and aid opportunities in Ghana. With prayer and financial support from individuals and families back home, we connected with Josh Haikala, missionary from the Presbyterian Church USA to West Africa. He is based in Ghana and worked with us to plan our travels, going so far as to book hotels, traveling with us, and even doing the driving. We spoke with our pastor, Reverend Duffy, about what partnership might look like with a church in Ghana.
As partners, we're equals in Christ, we're near to one another, even if we're geographically miles apart.
With this as a backdrop, we set out in search of churches and organizations already doing ministry in Ghana. Our first few days were spent in the capital city, Accra. There we visited headquarters for the Presbyterian Church of Ghana, got accustomed to market shopping, and worshipped at a Presbyterian church with Fra people from the northern part of the country. Drumming and dance are a big part of worship. While we were in Accra, we met Bernice Ankra from Days for Girls.
Days for Girls is an organization that we supply sanitary kits to girls, women and girls, for them to have dignity, to have a free menstruation every month, to stay in school. That's the vision of Days for Girls.
She and her team use her shop as a staging point where they make sanitary kits for women who don't have access to the quality products women use here in the States. They have estimated that each woman they help recaptures about 8 months of her life in the first 3 years. Next, we traveled to the small city of Ho, which is home to the headquarters for the Evangelical Presbyterian Church, or EP Church as it is more commonly known. Moderator Reverend Seth Ajiti welcomed us and shared some of the many ministries the EP Church has undertaken.
Let me also thank you for choosing Ghana and the EP Church to visit us. To get to know us, and we also getting to know you.
The numbers and varieties of projects the EP Church has undertaken to serve its communities are staggering. During our time in Ho, EP Church staff members Jonas Jojoji and Godwin Ampany took us to see many of these ministries firsthand. They are as far-ranging as pharmacies, a publishing house that prints materials for the church, a school for young women, a home for street children, a healing center, a residential center where they teach farmers ways to improve their yields, and a project where they teach villagers ways to collect rainwater and how to purify water they collect from streams during the drier seasons. Most of their churches also provide schools in the communities they serve. Lake Volta is the largest man-made lake in the world with more than 3,000 square miles of surface area. Leadership from the EP Church noticed that overfishing had depleted the lake of fish and villages were seeing an important source of income and protein disappear. So the church joined an association of fishing communities to help teach them to farm fish. And when we joined them to feed the fish one afternoon, we made an immediate connection to the story of Jesus feeding the 5,000 with loaves and fish. Also on Lake Volta in Gemini, we saw 2 clinics run by the EP Church. One serves the women who work in the 3 days a week market on the banks of the lake. There, women and their small children get much needed basic health care they most likely would not leave the market to get. Just outside the market is a full clinic. It was started with a donation from the Women's Association from a Presbyterian church in Nebraska. Currently, the EP Church is expanding the clinic to include a lab and a pharmacy. This is an important next step in meeting some basic health needs in this community. We finished out our visit to the Volta region with a stop by the monkey sanctuary in Taffy. These clever little guys were quick on their feet and fast with their hands. We said goodbye to our new friends in Ho and trekked with Josh to Kumasi. It's a bustling city that has some of the largest markets in Ghana. One of the markets is in an area called Bantama. Abena Boateng started Women's Health to Wealth in the market there.
One way to try to bring about the change is to get people to understand themselves and to understand the power that they have to turn things around and maintain it. As I said, anything from the outside becomes a bit more artificial. And that is how the Women's Health to Wealth was born.
Abena works from the philosophy that if you help a woman, you help her entire family. We spent time with her and the Women's Health to Wealth team in Bantama Market. They have set up a clinic in the market so that women can get basic healthcare needs addressed in a short period of time without having to leave the market. They educate the women about hygiene and better health practices in their shops, and the women can earn social credit, which gives them access to microloans and other things they can use to improve their situation. Patti joined the team for a health day in a more rural village where they distributed the sanitary kits from Days for Girls, as well as provided health screenings and health education programs. Our connection to Abena and Women's Health to Wealth was made through AmeriCares, where Patti volunteers. Abena receives medical supplies from AmeriCares, which she distributes to a number of hospitals in Kumasi. What we found in Abena was a woman of deep faith who puts her faith into action. While we were in Kumasi, we met with the chairman of the Asante Presbytery, Kofi Amfo Okanor from the Presbyterian Church of Ghana. He connected us with some of the local churches and its members. One of them was Mrs. Abigail Bonyako from Yinyawoso Presbyterian Church, who shared some of her thoughts about what partnership could look like.
This partnership can look into how the best way that both churches or both groups can help meet. If you have youth, our youth can also meet your youth and see how best you can learn from each other. Then we can also learn from each other, our talents. You see, Americans and Ghana, we are far different, two different people. So what can we learn from your people? And what can your people also learn from us?
During our visit of churches, we saw the new cathedral being built by Ramsey Presbyterian Church. We also spent an evening with the Presbyterian Church in Bantama. There we visited a confirmation class and the rehearsals of both a contemporary choir and a traditional choir. After 2 weeks on the road, we headed back to Accra for some downtime to reflect on the many people and ministries we encountered. We are excited about the opportunities for our church to exchange ideas, ministries, and culture. We look forward to returning to Ghana with more people from our church, to hosting our new friends here in the States, and to partnering in ministries that show God's love in action.
Sure.